create another code. Now to create another code, we'll click on the team code we've already created. Okay, so I want to create subcodes under this one. Mind you, these views of the pregnant women on TBAs, it's a team code. So a team code is more like, you could call it a mother code, you could call it a sub header, you could call it a main objective, whichever one. All right, so this is the views of the pregnant women on TBAs. Now I want to create codes underneath it called subcodes. So to do that, I will click on the code. Once I click on the code, then I will right click and say new node. Now the first code I want to create is skillful. Once I've done that, I will say okay. And if you can see here, my code has been created under skillful. Now I have another code. I have another code under views of the pregnant women on TBAs, which is skillful. If I want to create more subcodes, I'll still go through the same process. Right click on your parent node, then click on new node, and I will create another code, knowledgeable. Once I do this, I say okay. So as you can see, we have two codes under the team code, views of the pregnant women on TBAs. So this is how you create a code basically. If you want to create a free code, you just click on a blank space here. You can either right click or you click on create, click on notes. Okay, so for this I'm going to say new node, and I'm just going to call it free code and then say okay. If you look at the way the codes are arranged, you'll see that free code is a code on its own without any code under it, and views of the pregnant women on TBAs has two subcodes underneath it. Okay, now this minus sign here allows you to view the codes under it and close it. Okay, so if I click on it, open, and then I close it. Okay, so these are my codes. So I'm going to delete this free code because it doesn't apply to today's class. So I right click. Okay, so yes, your Nvivo will ask you every 15 minutes to save your project. So once I right click, I will say delete. Yes. Now my code has been deleted. So mind you, we've generated three codes. We have a team code and the subcodes underneath. So let's read our text and see if we can attach it, if we can assign it to the text. So the first question here says, what is your view on the services you have received from TBA? Are they skilled, knowledgeable? Are you satisfied with their services? The first respondent said, yes, they are very skilled and knowledgeable. So I'm going to code this statement as two codes. So my first code is, yes, they are skilled. Yes, they are very skilled. So you highlight to code. To assign a code to text, you highlight the text you want to code. Then you drag it to the code. Okay, you see? You highlight your text and you drag it to the code. It's as simple as that. So let's code knowledgeable. Yes, they are skilled and knowledgeable. So we are going to code these entire statements as knowledgeable, because we cannot just code and knowledgeable. It does not make sense. So we have to code the entire statement. So that's one code that we have created. Let's look at the next respondent. Okay, the person said, yes, my view is that they do pray very well. Apart from taking care of us, They also do check up on us and check the position of our baby. So I like it here. Remember, we are trying to code the perception of the pregnant women on the services received from TBAs. So this person says they are prayerful and they are also skillful, okay? Because if you look at it, apart from taking care of us, they also check up on us and check the position of our baby. So I like it here. The reason this person likes their services is because they are prayerful and they have, let's call it, empathy and skills, okay? So we're going to be creating 2 more codes. Prayerful. So to create a code, remember how we did it. I'm going to be creating a subcode under views of the pregnant women on TBS. So you click on it, right click, new node. Now there is a command you can use. It's called Ctrl+Shift+N to create a new node. To create a new node, you click on Ctrl+Shift+N. If it is a subcode, you ensure that your cursor is placed on the code, the team code, before you create a code under it. So to create another code, the code we are creating now is prayerful. Okay, and then you say okay. So I will highlight the text. And I drop it. So this is how you code. You highlight your text and you drag it to where the code is and you drop it. Sometimes you might want to come on your code, assuming I want to see all the codes that are being created under the team code. All I have to do is simply come to the team code, right click, and I say aggregate coding from children. This allows me to see all the references, all the documents I have coded under this particular code. If you notice, it says 1 file, 3 references, meaning on 1 file I have coded this particular for this code 3 times. Okay, so there are other ways you can do this. So this is how you assign your text. This is how you assign your codes to text. You can just keep playing around it, creating more codes. So the continuation says, apart from taking care of us, they also do check up on us and check the position of our baby. So let's call this skillful, okay? So we drag this and drop it under skillful. So now we have 2 codes under skillful. If I want to see the text that has been coded under skillful, I will click on the code. And it opens here on a blank page in my detail view, and I'm able to see where the text that has been coded to this particular code. Now this is how you assign your codes to your text. In our next video, I'm going to be showing you how to apply your coding highlights and your coding strips. Thank you.